my God, it's getting crazy, 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 crazy. I try to do something with Facebook. This is what happens. These are the results. I am so sorry, Tracy. If you are on, let's do this again. I am so, so sorry. A little nervous because I don't want to answer. I am so sorry, Trace.
No problem. We're just having some internet issues. All right. Can you
But I
hear
can hear
me?
you better now. Yes.
Great. Okay. So it might be off and on like that. We'll just work through it. So it's not a big deal. But you were in the middle of talking. You were asking me, well, you were telling me about your work and how sometimes there will be closed doors where they'll say, yes, we are hiring. And then you get there and then they say, no, the position is closed.
Trey,
I'm here. Can you hear me?
what did you say?
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. When you was closer to your phone, I could hear you better when you was closer to it.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. So I'll just get really close. So you were in the middle of talking about what it's like to apply for jobs where they would say, yes, we are hiring, and then, oh no, we fill the position. So you can start from there.
Yeah, it would either be we filled the position up, or that position is not open anymore, or you know, application and we'll call you back. What else? You know, you can just tell from the vibe, from from definitely from the vibe and from all of that I just mentioned. So once that happened, I'm like, you know what? I have to get my name changed. I have to get my name changed because, you know, no one is gonna take me serious. No one is gonna like want to give me a job because of this whole name situation. So I it was a long process because you needed to go to court to get this name change and you needed to do all this extra stuff. So I finally did it, and I finally changed the name, my deaf name, to the name that I have now today.
Okay. Okay. So did you face discrimination when you were a gay man in the workplace versus now? Do you feel like do you feel like you encounter it a lot more now than you did as a gay man?
Let's do that one more time.
I was saying the difference in the discrimination. Did you feel like you were getting discriminated as a gay man versus as a trans woman? Getting more discrimination now than you did?
I Good question. It's a very, very good question. I feel like I get a pass now as a trans woman. Um, wasn't getting. I wasn't. It was like I didn't have that. How can I put this? This is so good. Uh, No, I feel as a gay man, I was getting more of the hatred and all the stuff. You're a gay man. Um, I never did not get a job because of being a gay man. But did I have problems? yes, I've had problems in the workplace. As a trans woman now, I feel like I get more of a pass. Um, Depending who's giving me the interview, if it's a woman, I feel like it's more easier now to get a job than it was before, because I wasn't as confident as I am now today.
Okay. Okay. So was it you, or was it the world, or was it a combination of both?
Say that one more time.
Was it you and your confidence, or was it the world, or was it a combination of both?
I think both. Because I took with me into this journey a little bit of Jose, and I mixed that up together, and then everything with the word, and it just it gives me more and more confidence than I had before. I mean, I had confidence before because I'm a man, and nobody's gonna really mess with me, and I'm a pretty gay man, I'm a pretty boy, and I love fashion. Nobody's gonna mess with me. But yeah, I feel like now it's more it's easier, if that makes any sense, than it was back then.
Okay. Okay. So can you hear me?
Yes,
Can
I
you hear
can
me?
hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your family. I know that your mother was very supportive, but what
Yeah.
about your extended family? Like, what have you dealt with as far as them embracing a new you? Do they still call you Jose, or are they using Mia now? Or are they,
There's where there's like a slip up where they might call me Jose, and they might end up calling me Nia. As far as my mom being accepted, it's so funny because when I came out as a gay man, it was harder for her. She was so hurt by it. You know what I mean? She was so hurt by it. Then she found out that I transitioned. Um, my mom, I'm gonna tell you a funny story about my mom. When she was pregnant with me, my thought that she had a girl when she was pregnant with me, and the doctor's like, no, you have, it's a boy, it's what you're having, it's a boy. So when I told her that I was transitioning, it wasn't as hard for her, because feeling that what I have in my stomach is a girl. So when I told her that I was transitioning from where I was to today, she was open arms with it. She loved me. I mean, she was open arms with it. And she accepted it. Some of my family members kind of stopped speaking to me, and it's not because they didn't accept me, it was because they didn't understand or educated of what is going on with this person. So it wasn't that they didn't accept me. It's just that they wasn't educated, and they didn't, they didn't know, they never met probably someone that was trans. And a lot of people don't know a lot of people that are trans. So it's kind of like either you don't know, you're not educated, that's just never presented itself to you.
okay, so can you talk about your upbringing? Where were you born? What the culture is like?
I was okay, so born March 4th of 1988 in St. Croix, Virgin Islands. I am half Puerto Rican, half West Indian. So anybody that's West Indian of any sort knows that even coming out as a gay man is extremely hard, depending how spiritual it is. Um, it 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 wasn't easy easy situation growing up in St. Croix and being a little gay boy and playing with dolls and, you know, going to school. I went to school called Potomac in St. Croix, and we would have to wear these uniforms, and the girls would wear this nice pink white shirt, and then the guys will wear this yellow mustard looking shirt. And I remember being in so much trouble by my mom, and I remember going to school. They would hit you on the top of your hands if you did something wrong, if your uniform was dirty or anything like that. And I remember going into school with my sister's shirt on, and I got myself a nice little hit on my hand because they're not with that. Like, they're not gonna, you know, they never seen, if they seen a gay man, is behind closed doors or whatever. So for them to see a young little boy being so open with himself, it was hard. It was really, really, really hard growing up in St. Croix and being a gay kid. Like, I was gay at a very young age. I never denied it. My family never denied it. So it was really, really hard. I hope I answered your question the right way.
You did. So then when you moved to the stateside, you moved to New York, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So how was the transition from being an island boy, an island gay boy, to living in New York where you could be anything? Like, what was that for you?
The difference from St. Croix, moved from St. Croix to New York at 6 years old. I didn't get to experience the LGBT life in here. Maybe when maybe when I was like 13 years old, I kind of started being involved in the LGBT community and getting into clubs and little parties. I did not expect it to be as open and or what I thought, as open or as accepted as it was when I came here. I didn't expect that, because back at home, you were not allowed to do that. You were not allowed to be an open. Seeing that here, I was like, oh my God, there's a lot of people like me. There's a lot of people like me. They look like me, they talk like me, they sound like me, they love clothes. Like, I was exciting, and I think that time was the happiest time for me being a gay man, because you know, like I said, I met people and people look like me or whatever. And then as I started getting my view and my understanding on the LGBTQ community, and then my understanding on the straight community, it kind of really switched my mind up a lot now, and where I stand now in my life. Because it's like, I made it through all of that. I was open even as a young kid, as a young boy. I come here, and now I'm a woman, and I have boobs and curves, and it's like, wow. Like, I don't think I would have been able to do this, what I'm doing today, if I was still in St. Croix.
Yeah. So do you encounter discrimination within your own community, your own LGBT community? Is there a hierarchy of acceptance in that community, or is everyone just more accepted?
So your question was, am I if my own people accept me, right?
Your own LGBT community. Can you hear me? The LGBT community. The LGBT community.
how do they accept me?
Yes, how do they accept trans women versus being gay in that community?
Okay, okay, okay. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's a very catty world. It's a very catty world. You know, and everybody want to look good. Everybody want to be on top of the fashion, on the new trend and what's coming out next. So living the gay lifestyle, um, living the gay lifestyle was good. It was good. You know, I never was really the one to, be with the crowd. So I was never involved, um, really involved in the community when I was living the gay lifestyle. But I had friends and guys who wanted to talk to me, and I was cool with everybody, and it was great. And then when I decided to transition, everything changed. The gay guys don't want to talk to me anymore. The people that I used to be friends with don't want to talk to me anymore. Some of the gay guys I never had a problem with because of I guess because of this transition. But my community gave me a very hard time when I first came out as trans, a very, very hard time. And again, it's because they don't understand how can this person that I have known for so long, and I've known this person since high school or middle school or whatever, how can this person go from a man that had muscles and a beard and did modeling and all this type of stuff to a trans woman that has boobs and curves? So my community wasn't very nice. My community was not very nice to me. Some of them were open minded or like open heart and accepted of me and really give me a hard time, a very, very, very hard time. If I answered your question again.
Yes, you did. You did answer my question. I wanted to know if there was discrimination within your own community.
Yeah, in my own community. Yeah, of course. Yeah, and you would think honestly that things will be easy. Like you would think it will be easier because you're a part of that group. When in actuality, right. you're not. It doesn't matter if you're Black and you're part of the Black community. It don't matter if you're white and you're part of the white Chinese and you're part of the Chinese community. Someone in those community are not going to accept you, and that just says a lot. That just says a lot about what's really going on in this world and how much the world is changing. Your own community will not accept you at all.
So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the Black community and how they embrace you. So like, what are the things that you have encountered within the Black community? Because we all talk about Black Lives Matter, right?
Right.
But there is a hierarchy in the Black community too. So can you talk a little bit about the discrimination that you face in the Black community as well? Not just the LGBT, but the Black.
Say it one more time.
Can you talk a little bit more about the Black community in addition to the LGBT community? There's a hierarchy in the Black community.
Okay, I think I heard your question. So I'm going to repeat it again. Tracy, I could not hear the question. I'm so sorry.
Okay, so we talked a little bit. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I could hear you.
Okay, we talked a little bit about the gay community, correct?
Yes.
So now we're talking your acceptance in the Black community. So what is that like in the Black community and the discrimination that you face in America with Black Lives Matter?
How does the Black LGBT trans woman?
No, I'm just saying Black. No, I'm talking about Black straight people. Can you hear me?
Okay, so I think I know what you're trying. I think I know what you're asking me. So it's so funny. It's if I am correct, what you're asking me. It's so funny because I was watching a Facebook page on another trans woman going to Washington, D.C. And this is very good. That's very, very good that you said, because I think I know exactly what you was asking. So she, you know, she's on Facebook or whatever, and she's, you know, telling her story and her experience going to what she lives in Washington. So she went to go support the Black Lives movement. And
yes.
Yeah. And she went to go support and everything else. And she comes back, you know, she came back home and she's like, you know what? Why is it that I should go and support the Black Lives Matter when those same people that I am fighting for, the same people that I am out here fighting that I can literally get myself hurt for, are the same people that are murdering me. The same the same men,
yes.
the same men that are out here being killed by cops are the same men that are burying me 6 feet under. So why should I, as a Black trans woman, go to this march and support Black Lives Matter when technically the Black community don't even accept LGBT Black Lives Matter, if that's the way that I can put it. And that's what makes me sad, and that's what makes me angry, because I am a colored trans woman, and the men, the kings that I love, and the kings that I am marching for. And when I get on Facebook and I talk about Black Lives Matters and I'm posting stuff because I feel like it's degrading and it's messed up about what they're doing. These men, the same people, like I said, the same people that I'm fighting for are the up and trying to murder me because they cannot accept that I'm part of your community. I'm a Black trans woman. I'm a Puerto Rican trans woman. I'm part of the community, and you have to accept me because, well, this is what I think, because of my skin color. It does not matter.
Yes.
It does not matter. Yes. It does not matter. It does not matter. Like, we as LGBTQ family, we are the most community that be ignored. We're the most community that get thrown under the rug. Just recently, 3 trans women were attacked, if I'm not mistaken. I think in New York they were attacked. Can you believe that they released them with no charge, with no nothing? These girls got brutally attacked, and no one is doing nothing about it. No one is willing to speak about it or go forward with it. And it's sad. It's really, 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 really sad that as color trans women, we gotta deal with this.
Yeah. I think that's perfect Thank you.
And I think,
Thank
I
you.
also think, too, if I can just add this in here too, the same way, and it's not, let me just say this, it's not all African American men, and it's not all cis women. But if I could point the fingers at someone, it will be my cis sisters. It will be my cis African, by my black cis sisters. Why? Because the minute that they see a trans woman walk by and a cis man is sitting right next to them, first, instead of just letting it go and letting that woman go by and mind her business, and now she ain't worrying about nobody, she ain't saying nothing about nobody. And it has happened to me I can say every day, multiple times on different occasions, where a cis woman will see me, will be with a guy and will say, "Oh, do you know that that's a trans woman?" There was no need for that. There was no need for that, because now you're putting me at jeopardy, because there's two things. This guy can either not be educated, could not understand the community. He can just come now because you said something. Now this man can come and freely put his hands on me.
Yes, I agree. I agree. It's terrible that we don't support. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. If you see anything that anybody's writing, because I cannot see what they're writing, let me know.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So
yeah.
let me.
I hope I answered that for you. But yeah, yeah, it's sad. It's really sad, and I just feel like as women, as trans women, and I was just thinking about this last night, because I said, when I get on here, I want to talk about everything, and I want to touch, base. I want to touch base on everything that's very important. But the other thing that I can definitely say is that, like I said, it's sad and it's disgusting to me that as a trans woman and as a woman that's a cis woman, we cannot come together as one, as a whole. I'm not here, and I think a lot of educated on the fact that we're not here to take over. We're not here to replace you. We're not here to be better than you. We're here because we're meant to be here. We're here because we're supposed to be here. And I feel like if not only cis women, but I feel like if cis men, cis women can really understand that and be educated and understand that not all trans women are sex workers. Not all trans women are, out in the streets. Not all, every single human being on this planet is different. We may look the same. We may have the same color complexion. Our hair might be the same length, but we're not the same people.
Right, right. And why do you think there is a competition there with cis women and trans women? Why is that? Why do you think there's a threat?
This for so many years, even for yourself, for so many years, we looked at kings, we looked at men as strong men that are protectors, men that provide, men that, do all of this manly stuff. So for a man to go from man to woman, it becomes a threat to a cis woman, which I don't understand why, because we're not here to compete. We're not here, like I said, to take over or anything like that. And honestly, the reason why I feel like it's like this, the reason why I think like this is because certain women are not educated when it comes to a trans woman. Instead of them educating themselves or allowing somebody that knows about the trans community, LGBTQ community, they rather listen to other people that have no idea, never walk a mile in a trans woman's shoes or a gay person's shoes. So they rather listen and get fed all of these bad negativity of a trans woman when that's not what it is. So I feel like if they understand that we're not here to compete and that we're all here as a whole, as a one, they'll have a better understanding, and then they won't feel like it's a competition. I don't think that trans women feel like it's a competition because we don't think we got so much other stuff to worry about. We're being murdered every freaking day. So we're not gonna sit here worry about competing or trying to be the next better cis woman. If women can understand that and be educated, we can all get along, honestly.
So let's talk about trans women and the violence that is happening in our community against trans women. So as you mentioned earlier, there were 3 incidents that happened in New York. I believe last year there were about 40 incidents that happened of violence against trans women. So yes. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because I once read a study that the average life expectancy for a woman who is transgender is about age 35, because they have to worry about someone taking their lives.
Right. And this is a topic that is very hard for me too, because I'm afraid. I'm afraid every day. I'm afraid. Yeah, it's a very hard topic because, like I said, I'm afraid, and we shouldn't have to be afraid. Being trans women, open trans men, we should not be afraid to go to the store. We should not be afraid to go to the grocery store. I was other YouTube, not YouTube, Facebook page, and this transgender girl a grown transgender girl gets into her car and she starts crying, and she's like, I'm afraid for my life because, we're being murdered every single day. We're being murdered every single day. And this just, a grown woman crying, because she's scared, she's terrified of the fact that she can't go to the gas station to put gas in her car because she feels, or she has this thing in her head that somebody's gonna come from behind her and hit her just because that person found out, excuse me, that she's a trans woman. I feel okay, and I know when I say this, it's gonna sound it's probably gonna sound off, but I feel as trans women, we need to be extremely honest, and we need to be extremely careful of the decisions that we make and the people that we meet. How can I say this? How can I say this where it doesn't come off rude or okay. I feel we all know that certain trans women don't like to tell people that they're trans, or they don't like to tell people or men that they still have an extra piece. I feel like this is, and I could be wrong, but I feel like this is the reason why the numbers of murder in our community is because certain trans women are not open with themselves, or they feel like they don't have to say anything to the person that they're interested in or the person that they're speaking to. If you look at a lot of cases, if you look at a lot of cases of trans women being murdered, it's either because the man did not know that they were trans, or because she didn't bother saying anything. It's very important for us as trans women to be honest and to tell men, listen, this is who I am and what you do with it. But I think that's the reason why some of the murders are happening, because we have women that are sex workers, and then we have women that are not saying anything to these men. So then later on, they're gonna retaliate and come look for you and possibly do something to you.
Yeah.
Do you hear?
Yeah. It makes me so sad. You don't really owe anyone an explanation, but for your safety, I understand why you would. Can you hear me?
You just went out.
I was saying that I understand that it is a personal journey, and that you shouldn't have to disclose or tell anyone what is happening with you personally, because it's your. But I do understand what you're saying, and that for your safety, you feel you need to do that.
Yeah, I'm not saying that you have to sit there and tell everybody, that you're a transgender woman. But if times were different, where we're not being killed because we're not being honest about what we are, then okay, that would be a different scenario. But right now, because of the fact that we're being murdered every single day, we as a community, we need to try to bring down the number. We need to bring down the number, because I feel like, honestly, and this is just my opinion, I just feel that when you're not being honest with who you are, especially dealing with a cis man that has never dealt with a trans woman, or probably only dealt with a trans woman one time, I think for your safety and for his safety and for the respect of both of you, you should say something. You should say something.
Yeah. Have you ever experienced this personally?
Have I ever been in this position? Have I ever been in that position before?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God, yes, yes. And let me tell you, honey, first one that will tell you, okay? We could sit on that phone all day. I will be on the phone with you for 4 hours, and I will tell you after the 4 hours, I am trans. And I wanted to let you know that you're trans. I'll do it before I go on a date or prior going on a date that this person would ask me. I'm very, very, very open with it. I'm not worrying about being clocked. I think a lot of trans women, I believe too, the reason they don't say anything is because they don't want to be clocked. They don't want to be viewed that way. And so I can understand, I can say, we should say something, but then I can also understand why they don't say nothing, because I understand it now. But me personally, I am honest all the time with whoever I am about to be intimate with, or if I'm going on a date, I'm going to let you know that I'm trans. I'm not going to wait until we get to the restaurant to tell you. I'm not going to do that. I tell you right there and then.
Okay.
Because there's no point. If we go out, if we go to Red Lobster and I sit there and I say to you after 4 hours of being at Red Lobster, hey, I'm trans, you have a right to F out. You have a right to go however you want to go, because I was not honest enough to tell you before we came here that I'm trans, and a lot of trans women do that. A lot of trans women will go out with a man and then tell them hours later that they're trans. And at this time, we cannot do, at this time in the life that we're living, we cannot do that right now. We cannot, we need to be honest, and we need to try to protect, and it's crazy when I'm about to say this, but we need to protect our sisters through us, if that makes sense, through us. If that makes any sense, what I just said.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like go ahead.
So a question was asked from one of our white sisters, asked, what can they do?
Wait, this is a question?
Or, yeah, this is one of the questions. A white sister asked, what could she do to better be a support?
What can she do to get support?
To be your support.
One more time.
To be your support. To be a better ally.
Get educated. Get educated. Get involved. Get educated and get involved. Learn. Those are the two most important things that I can tell anybody. If somebody were to ask me, what can I do to be a better human for, or whatever, for the LGBT community, is to be educated. Be educated, get involved, and try your best to understand what's going on in the LGBT community, because you can't possibly not be a better person, or whatever you want to put it, for the LGBT community if you are not involved, if you are not educated. Get yourself educated, get yourself involved within the community. And oh my God, look up the history about trans people. Look up the history about LGBTQ plus people. We have been here for years. We have been here for years, and I'm about to say something that people might be like, you shouldn't have to say that. We were here because I'm very blunt in saying what I say. We were here even when God was walking this earth. We was here. We was wrapped up in that. We was wrapped up. Nobody knew because nobody had an idea of how a trans man look or how a trans woman look. Nobody ever seen one. So we was always here. We were always here, right in your faces and your noses. Nobody was ever educated. Nobody was ever told what a trans woman is, or what a trans man is, or what a gay man is. But we have been here for years, very long time. It just took some of us to die. It took some of us to go to jail. It took some of us to be strong enough to take off all of that, to show our true colors. Seriously, but we have been here for so many years, for such a long time.
Mm-hmm. If there's anyone who has questions, I would like you to ask those questions now. I'm going to open the floor up for you guys to ask questions. I know I do have a question, Mia. Are you okay with me asking a surgical question?
Oh, I'm open. Let's give it to me, baby. Give it to me. She's ready.
So can you describe what this process is like from transitioning from male to female? What is that like for you?
Oh my God. Oh, that was a journey, okay? That was horrible. Everybody's journey is definitely different. Everybody's journey is different. Everybody's experience is very different. My experience going from a man to a woman was very, very interesting. I was excited. I was happy. So I have to do, okay, so I have to take hormones,
Okay.
take 2 shots every 2 weeks. Um, I had to start off on pills, which that's how they start you off at first when you go in to speak to your doctor about you want to transition. You know, they start you off on the pills because they want to make sure that your body will be able to handle the medication, and if it you know if it's gonna like if they're gonna get along your body with the medication. So you go in, they you know they take all these tests on you. They'll give you you know your pills, but prior to doing that, you have to be in therapy and you have to have a psychiatrist. Um,
Okay.
like I said, everybody's transition is different. Everybody goes through different things. So that is the purpose of having a psychiatrist and a therapist. So you're able to get through your situation. So you're able to get through your transition. Um, my transition though, honestly it was a piece of cake. No, it wasn't a piece of cake, but it was easier. Mine was easier than most, and most are harder than most. But mine was easier, um, trying to get rid of the beard and getting laser treatment to get my beard taken off. Um, you gain all this weight, your body starts blossoming, you start developing curves. I mean, my if you asking how my transition was effing amazing. My transition saved my life. Um, my transition has taught me a lot of taught me a lot as a human, taught me a lot as a person, taught me a lot as a woman, taught me a lot as a queen, taught me a lot and how strong of a woman I am. But my transition was everything, was everything. I'm happy that I did it. I'm happy that I'm still going because I'm still transitioning. I'm still learning as I go. Um, but my transition, if I answer your question, my transition was amazing. I don't have no complaints at all. Even from the bad to the good, from the fact that people try to fight me and beat me up, every bad and every good experience has built me to where I am and who I am today.
Awesome. Awesome. Whew. Wow.
But and to say and to for anybody that wants to transition, for any man that wants to transition, for any woman that wants to transition, I this is very important. I just want you guys to know, don't feel alone. Don't feel scared. Don't feel that you need to be and look as better as the next trans woman. Don't feel like you need to look better as the next trans man. Be you. Be you. This is your transition. This is not nobody else's transition. This is yours. There's help. There's resources that you if you need help. There's people that are out here to help you. And the road, I mean, and when you actually start transitioning, just know that Rome was not built in a day. Just know that things takes time, and you need to be patient because your transition is like Rome. It's not going to be built in a day. It's going to take time. It's going to take dedication. It's going to take strength. It's going to take heart. It's going to take being brave, because a lot of people cannot do this. A lot of people cannot live this lifestyle. A lot of people cannot walk in these shoes because a lot of people are not strong enough mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually to be here. So if you're here today and you transition and you think you're transitioning, it's because you are meant to be here and you have a purpose here, just the same way I do, you do, and it don't matter what color you are, what shape you are. If you're going to do this, let's do it. We're gonna do a team with our cis women and our trans men, our trans women, all of us. We're gonna do it as one. And the reason I wanted to say that is because I have friends that want to transition, but because of what's going on outside of the work, outside of the walls of our walls, and all of the stuff that's going on, they don't want to transition and they're afraid to do so. So that's the reason why I said what I said, because you can do it and you deserve to be happy and you deserve to be comfortable in your body.
Mm-hmm. Is it painful, or is it just like I started growing boobs? Like how how
Oh my,
does this?
it's okay. It's not painful, but I'm gonna tell you one thing. It's crazy though. It's not painful, but you start feeling changes that you have never felt. Like I am more emotional than I have ever been in my life. Okay, I want to cry about everything. Um, a lot of people don't know this or don't believe this, but I get my period, right? Hold on, because people are like, wait, what? Wait, what? You get your period? Explain yourself. Okay. So what I mean by that is that I get symptoms of period cramps. I get my cramps, moody, my stomach gets bloated, my boobs hurt and they're heavier. Um,
Wow.
oh yes, honey. She's real, honey. She is real. Um, what else? What else? Your hair starts growing longer. Your skin becomes more softer. Your features become more softer. Um, what else? What else? What else? What else? Um, oh, your mentality. That is the one thing that I did notice. If I can be honest and I can be real and I can be open, we know that men in general, they are very sexually active. Men are very sexual. Like they have to do it. They have to do something. They have to release. I have noticed since my transition that I am less sexual. I'm less active than I was when I was a man. Um, a lot of people don't know this either, but women are less sexual, less active than men are. Men are really, really active. Like they gotta do it. That's one thing I've noticed that I don't even it don't even cross my mind. Be like it really
Wow.
don't even cross my mind. Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. But it's the most amazing feeling you can I mean, it's the most amazing experience. I mean, I can imagine if we were able to get pregnant, like that change in your body is amazing. I will not
Mhm.
change this world at all. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die as a trans woman. Period. Nobody's gonna take that from me, okay?
All right. So have you considered going all the way? Or are you good with having the extra piece? Like, where are you in your thought process of the journey?
That's you're asking all the right questions. That's good. I have had this conversation before with my mom, my best friend, a couple of friends of mine. They asked me the same thing. Well, do you plan to get bottom surgery? Um, do you want to go all the way with it? And honestly, I'm very selfish when it comes to me. I'm gonna try to be as discreet as I can. I'm very selfish when it comes to me. So I won't get rid of it because of that, and because it does not bother me, and because I love it, and
Yeah.
other trans women don't want it, other trans women can't see it or touch it. It does not bother me.
Mhm.
The reason why I have not done the surgery yet is because I want to have children at some point in my life. If I decide to cut that, I would have children. So once
Oh.
my gods and my father God says, honey, I bought you a good man, okay? I bought you a good man. Then I will speak to him and go forward with it. If he feels like, listen, you don't have to do it, I'm good with it. I want you just the way you are, then I won't do it. But
Yeah.
as of right now, that's something that I'm not even thinking about.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. Thank you for being so open with that. I'm sure people
Oh,
had questions about it.
Oh no, I told you. I want you to be as, I want you to be, you know, as I want them to ask questions. I don't want nobody to go and see this later on and not take anything from it, or you know, I don't want nobody to relate to, not, I want people to relate to me. I want people to be confident to say, you know, I saw Mia speak on Tracy's show thing on Facebook, and you know, she gave me the confidence to begin my transition, or she gave me this confidence, you know, to go to the doctor and say, look, I want to transition and I'm freaking 40 years old now. So whatever question you feel that will help someone, or whatever question people have, ask it. I am your girl.
Awesome, awesome. Well, right now I'm looking at the comments. I don't see any, but now, ladies, now is the time to ask them. If you have comments or questions, let me see. So I'm starting from the beginning. Lampra says, wow, I'm really shocked that her own community wasn't accepting. I'm so sorry that happened to you. She was talking about the LGBT community. And then she says, it makes me sad and frustrated that Black Lives Matter does not support your community. I'm very sorry. Ruth says, Mia, I really appreciate your vulnerability and willingness to educate us. And she was the one that asked the question, how best could we support you? So far, that's all I've got. So if there's anyone who wants to ask a question, ask it now, because I'm getting ready to close out the live. So, Mia, I thank you. I thank you. Are there any things that you want to say, or you want to, that I didn't ask, that you would like the world to know? Like, because we talked about kind of, you know, your story. We talked about, you know, what it's like in the workplace, what it's like being in the Black community, what it's like in the LGBT community for you, what it's like in the dating scene, what the surgery situation is like. Are there things that, you know, and we talked about the killings too, and are there, do you happen to know if there are transgender rights that are coming up for vote, or is there anything that we can do? Or
if I can say this, and whoever decides to watch this and stuff like that, I just want, I'm gonna try to say, like the straight community, the Black Lives Matters community, I want you guys to understand that we are women. We are women that have gone through a lot just to be who we are, just to be open. I want you guys to be educated. I want you guys to be understanding. I want you guys to understand, really understand that we are not here to compete. We're not here to replace you. We're not here to do anything. All I just want, I want to have a career. I want to live my life. I want to have children. I want to have my friends, my girlfriends to grow old with. Like, I'm not trying to be no other trans woman. I'm not trying to be no other cis woman. I just want to be Mia Marie Galore, and that's it. I want you guys to just be educated. I want you guys to be involved. I want you guys to really understand that we're human. We're humans. We're humans, and that's just it. And to love us, because we love y'all. We're out here fighting every day. Black trans men, Black every day in the community. The only reason why you don't see us is because we're not here for that. We're here to support what's going on at this particular moment. So yeah, just be educated, be supportive, don't be closed-minded. Don't listen to what Paul and Derek and all of them is telling you, because Paul and Derek don't walk my shoes. Paul and Derek don't ever live in my life. Paul and Derek is not part of the LGBT community. So just be educated, be informed, be open-minded, have an open heart, and that's it. And let's just make this world let's try to make this world a better place, because it's getting worse every day. And that's it. And thank you for listening to my story. Thank you. Sorry for when we started, it was a little, it's a little mixed up, but I appreciate you guys coming and listening to me. And Tracy, I appreciate you for wanted to interview me, to get to know me, to tell my story. I hope that people can take something from story. And if anybody has any more questions, or anybody would like to know more, we can definitely do people. But I just want to say thank you so much to you and to everybody that has come into the live and has listened to me, listened to us. I appreciate it so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. Thank you.
I do too. I appreciate your vulnerability, your honesty, your willingness to go there and just be emotional and just blunt. And I thank you for just stepping out and just living your truth, and for educating us, and that you didn't have to do this, but I thank you that you allowed us to walk a little piece of this journey with you and to learn a little bit more about how we can best support you. And it pains my heart so much that you are a part of so many different communities, but in all those different communities, we have not supported you. We collectively have not supported you.
And not only that, just to say this too, not only that, I am the face of every single person out here. I am the face of a cis woman. I am the face of a Black woman. I am the face of a Puerto Rican woman. I am the face of an abused woman. I am a face of I'm the face. I carry everybody's. I'm everybody. I'm everybody, and I mean that in the most humblest way. And I mean that, saying that I am no different than anybody. My skin, when I cut myself, it bleeds the exact same. No different than anybody whatsoever.
Yeah. And I think having these exchanges in the open bring a humanness to what's happening, who you are, what's happening with your situation. It helps people connect the heart to you.
Yeah, and not only that, too, and I also wanted to say this too, that we have to do better. We have to do better, not only for us as an adult or us as a community, but there's children growing. There's children right behind us that are seeing every single thing that we do, every move that we make, every word that we use. We have kids out here, and the reason why I do this and I speak about this and I use my voice to speak, it's because of the children, because a lot of kids don't have that support to come out and say, hey dad, hey mom, I'm gay, or I feel like I don't want to be in this body no more. I feel like I'm not a boy or whatever. We need to do better in our community, in the Black community, in the LGBT community, because we have children that are looking up to us. I may not know who's looking up to me, but I know there's people looking up to me. I know there's people that are watching me. I don't want to be the one to be afraid to live my life, or to be afraid to speak my mind and speak my heart, because nobody wants to accept me. If I allow myself to do that, those kids that are watching me, they're gonna feel the exact same way. Or what they're gonna do, they're gonna write a little letter stating that they committed suicide because they couldn't tell mom and dad that they were gay, or they couldn't tell mom and dad that they felt different in their body. No, we need to do better.
Oh, it hurts my heart just hearing it. It really does. Oh, I'm just,
Yeah, it's
uh,
sad. It's sad. Our kids. We need to do better for the next kids that are going to become the next president, the next doctor. We need to educate these kids as much as we can. So when this child or this young man or this young girl decides to go into the presidency, this child is so educated. Look who we have right now as a president. It's the reason why we're in the position that we're in, because this man don't have no lick or no idea about Black lives. This man don't have no lick or no idea about the LGBTQ plus community. He don't have no idea, no idea. So when we're not doing good as leaders, those kids behind us, when that's it. We messed it up. We messed it up for all of them because of what we're doing, because of our ignorance, and because we're not educated ourselves. I just really wanted to put that out there. We need to do better for our kids. We need to do better for the next generation. And the next generation is here today, and they're watching. And they're watching. They're watching.
yeah. So let me ask you this
But that's what I wanted
question,
to.
Mia.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me about, I don't think we ever talked about your goals and your hopes and your dreams. So I know you when I remember when I first started watching you years ago as Jose, and you had this booming modeling career, like what do you want to do, just like years, are you going to be an entrepreneur? Are you going to, like, what are you doing?
So that knows me personally knows that I have not worked. I don't. When I first started, getting into my adult life, I never worked at a regular job. I was signed
Mm-hmm.
to I was signed to two modeling companies. The first one I was signed to Interface Talent in Norwalk, Connecticut. And, I graduated top of my class from John Casablanca's Modeling Career Center here in
Yeah.
Connecticut. So I was signed to two modeling agencies. Where do I see myself in 50 years, or where do I see myself in the
No,
future?
in just 5 years,
Oh, just
not
5 years.
50.
Oh, okay, I'm about to say 50. I definitely see myself getting back into the business of modeling, getting back into the business of arts, which is if it's dancing, singing, acting, modeling, producing, hosting.
Mhm.
I see myself getting my own business with makeup, which will be called MMG Cosmetics. I see myself putting music. I see myself um, being a boss, I see myself using my voice for the LGBTQ community. I see myself using my voice for domestic violence. I see myself using my voice for children that are in foster care, because I was in foster care. So I just see myself in 5 years with my business and using my voice and being more involved and more educated in the LGBTQ plus community.
Okay. So I heard two things that I haven't touched on that I should probably touch on. One is domestic violence, and the other one was foster care. So
Yeah.
do you mind sharing a little bit about these two things and why they are dear to your heart?
Um, so violence. I was in a domestic violence relationship from the age of 16 to the age of 21.
Wow.
Um,
That's a long time.
I fell in love with a man I thought, I knew was everything to me, was everything to me. At the time of me being with this young man, I've always been in foster care almost all of my life. Clearly, not in foster care, but my mother always had a case open with DCF at the time. I was honest with this man. I was with him from 16 to 21. I mean, it was the most horrible experience that I would never want to go through. I would never want one of my friends to go through. It's something that has caused a lot of trauma in my life, even today. It affected the fact that I'm afraid sometimes um, to let my heart down, in a sense, like I let my heart out of the box to get to know someone, if it's a friend or whatever, just because I love this person and this person was my friend and this person was my boyfriend and he was supposed there to protect me and stuff like that. So that was that. I ended up in foster care because my mom, like every mom and like every woman, I don't judge her for what she did. My mom did every single thing that she could. My mother has five kids. She had me when I was 12 years old,
Wow.
12, 13 years old, or I yeah, right, 13 or between 13 and 15, I believe that she had me. She had me. So my mom did what she needed to do. My mother was one of the biggest female drug dealers here in Bridgeport, Connecticut. She got caught. DCF took us and separated all of us. My mother did 4 years. Um, and then I got adopted by two women. They were lesbians. They were in a relationship. They had their own child from a previous relationship. And they adopted me, and the rest was history.
Awesome. Wow. So you're right when you say that your life has touched so many different marginalized situations, like whatever someone is dealing with, you have walked that journey and lived that life. So that's amazing. Thank you for
Yeah, yeah,
sharing.
yeah.
Yeah, you really do represent all what they say, I am every woman. You do represent all these different types of women and the journeys. And I'm hoping that our audience will be able to connect with one of those women, you know?
Yeah, and that's my job, and that's what I want to do. I don't see, like I said, this is what I want to do. This is why when anybody asks me, and I didn't even take this as an interview for me, I took this as an interview for the world, not only to get to know me, but for them to be educated, for them to get a piece of me, to say, look, she's a trans woman, she been through domestic violence, she been through, the DCF, she's been through rape. I've been through it, and I want people to take something from this, to know that no matter what you go through, you can still do what you want. No matter what goes on in life, you can be who you want. So don't let nothing in this world, because it's only a world. You're only in this world a short time. So don't let what's going on break you, because you're only here for a short period of time.
Yeah. How do you stay strong mentally? Like tell me about like your mental health and how you're able to stay so upbeat, having gone through so much in your life. Like how, were there times where you were just like really, really depressed? Were there times when you like didn't know what you were going to, get your next meal? Like how did you keep your mental health so strong?
I didn't, babe, I didn't hear nothing you said. I'm trying to catch everything you're saying.
Oh no. I was asking a mental health question. So, how are you able to stay mentally strong?
How do I stay? Ooh, girl. Mm, 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 mm. How do I stay mentally strong? That's a good one. How do I stay mentally strong? Honestly, my spiritual ground. My spiritual ground keeps me mentally strong. Um, I have a very different spiritual background than most people. So all I can say is my spiritualness, my spiritualness is what keeps me going, what keeps me having this positive, um, this positive vibe, this positive mentality, and not only my spiritual grounds, but the people that I look up to, the people that I see on a daily basis, the people in the world that I may not even know, keeps me going, because that person is going through a worse situation than I am, and look how she's going, look how he's doing. So I should not let what I'm going through stop me, when there's thousands of people in this world that are going through something more bigger than I'm going through. So it's my spiritual ground, you guys, and the people who I look up to every day. Simple.
Awesome.
Yes.
It's a lot.
Again,
It's a lot.
thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm really grateful for this. I'm really grateful that you don't even know me from a pot of pain. You've been following me on Facebook, and you took time out of your day to just, talk to me, to get to know me. And I really, really appreciate this. And if anything else you got going on and you want me to be involved, please let me know. I'm here to support. I'm here to support my people. I'm here to support my sisters. But again, thank you so much, you guys. I hope that you guys take something from this. I really, really hope that you guys take something from this. And again, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to hit me up on my Instagram, my Snapchat, my Facebook, whatever. Again, thank you so much, you guys, for just hearing me out and getting to know me. I appreciate it.
Where can they follow you? Give us those addresses.
Okay, so you can follow me on Facebook, which is me. Anything on my Facebook, to my Instagram, to my Snapchat, Galore, and it will pop up. You can follow me on YouTube. I also have a YouTube page. You can follow me on the Snap, on Instagram, on Facebook. Again, all you have to do is just type in Mia Marie Galore on your search bar, and anything that I'm on, it will pop up, and you can just click on it and follow me.
Awesome. All right, well, we're going to wrap things up. If there's no further questions, thank you, Mia, for sharing your story and empowering us today. I thank you so much for being here. Thank you to everyone who came in to the live that asked their questions. Thank you for being there. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye.
Thank you. And I'll see you guys. Be safe, be blessed. Remember to wash your pretty little hands. Remember to wash your face. Stay 6 feet away from people, and don't let nobody discourage you. Keep that positive vibe and have an amazing day. Thank you.
All right. Bye.